All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Investor Game Day podcast, hosted at the Stampede Houston, courtesy of Jet Lending and Renters Warehouse, because they do a monthly real estate networking event. That's the greatest networking event in all of the state of Texas, the United States. We've had as many as like 30,000 people here at one time.
Yeah, 1,190.
I mean, the NRG Stadium was like, hey, can you guys do it? This is the super investor meeting. You guys are listening to the Game Day podcast. Yep. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie Gantz. Oh, you're just being too kind, blush, Eddie. Man. Too kind.
Make me blush.
He even shaved today to get ready for this event.
I did. I got a haircut too.
On top and on bottom. He's ready to go, ladies and gentlemen.
I got waxed.
So Eddie and I were talking off camera about the state of real estate in Houston. Hit me with some facts, Mr. Miyagi.
You know, I don't know. I feel like I talk about the same old stuff every time I come up.
I don't really care. You know? That's what you're supposed to do.
Probably the biggest thing we got going, inventory is rising, but it's extremely healthy. You want me to throw some numbers?
I want you to throw numbers. Slang some numbers.
COVID Monday, March 9th, when that week's when everything started to shut down, we had a little over 18,000 houses on the market.
Okay.
It bottomed out at 10,500.
Awesome.
So the inventory went down. That's just massive feeding frenzy, of selling going on. Went down to 10.5, stayed right around there in 11 for quite a while. Started to inch up. The other day the last time I checked was a day or two ago. Did not check it today. 15,500, 15,600. Just under 16,000, I think it was. That's still a healthy number. 9,000 a month gets sold here in Houston. 9,000 a month. So that calculates into 1.6, 1.7 months of inventory.
Yeah.
When we got down to 10,500, we were at 1.1, 1.15.
Unrealistic. Never before
undocumented.
Seen. Right.
Never seen it before. Austin actually went down to less than a month of inventory, and I think they're still there.
Can I ask you a good question? I would like these people to know. Maybe if you have any questions, you can ask Andy. Like, love, and give us a share if you don't mind. We would really appreciate it. But what prediction or gut feeling did you have about the pandemic? What gut feeling did you have that you were wrong?
Oh, I was dead wrong.
On what?
I thought inventory was going to go up.
Okay.
I did. I thought it would just stop. And it was far from it. And there's lots of reasons for it and I started to see it pretty quickly change my opinion. But I was dead wrong. You're proud to say it.
Right.
I'm dead wrong.
We all progress.
It's
whatever it is.
It's a combination, 2 or 3 things. But not 2, 3 or 4 things. Number 1, interest rates. And they were low, stayed low, bumped up, not enough to really matter, but bumped up a little bit and went back down again. They're low now. Okay. Interest rates. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, jobs and demand and people moving to Texas. Okay. Population continues to rise.
So I would say that was contributing to some of the officials that were running those cities or states that were kind of pushing people to the more open area.
Well, you got a lot of people moving to Texas from West Coast because of high school athletics.
Good one.
Their kids can't play ball out there. Okay. All right. The other one is there's a certain population of the world did not put their house on the market who would have probably normally put their house on the market for sale because they didn't want people in their house. So it kept the new listings down by people not wanting people in their house and them not wanting to shop either for a house.
And then what happened to those people when they decide, you know what, we're not going to sell? What did they go to do? They ran to Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Restoration Hardware.
Bought all the 2x4s,
and started doing all the projects that they to make their house
and we
better.
Still in it. And we still in it. Even though inventory's gone from 10.5 to 15 something, we still in it. I mean, that's less than 2 months of inventory, barely over a month and a half. We still in it, And I have set up on that stage and I've said it on this podcast. I'll continue to say it. I'm that confident I'm not wrong about it. We will stay in it until interest rates rise.
Okay, now this would be my next question. With today's Fed meeting, they've decided to start the tapering process. They're going to begin in October, November.
What do you mean by tapering process?
They're going to stop buying all these mortgage-backed securities. How do you think that's going to affect the 10-year Treasury, which will then affect...
Well, you're beyond me with that, to be honest with you, but I will tell you this. The long-term rates have always tracked the 10-year Treasury bill and inflation. Okay? That's just mark it down. You get Dotcher up here in 2 months in October, he's going to be here. We'll fill this place up probably for the first time, because we hadn't filled this place up like we used to fill the old place up yet. He's going to get up there and tell you, I know he's going to tell you, that the long-term rates are based on the 10-year Treasury bill, which is driven by inflation. Then he's going to sit there and he's going to tell you the feds are artificially holding down the long-term rate right now. Right. Artificially.
Because they're buying all these mortgage-backed securities. But
that's what's going on.
They're artificially propping up the economy.
Yeah. I asked Clint Yates to give a presentation tonight from Integrity Mortgage. I said, I want you to get up and tell the status of the long-term rates today. I know what they are, but I'll bet the majority of this audience does not know what's going on with long-term rates today. I bet they don't know.
2.85?
A little bit lower than that. I'm refinancing my house right now.
Your personal residence. Okay.
And I was quoted 2.50.
And what would it be if you were on a 15?
I didn't even check.
My man.
Well, how you know that wasn't on a 15? But it was actually it's a 30-year AM, but on a 10-year, it's a 10-1.
It's for 10 and 1.
It's fixed for 10.
So those are locked.
I'll be out of it.
So let's tell them that's locked for 10.
Locked for 10, then we'll adjust every year. But I'll be done. I'm going to be out of it. I mean, I'll be in 10 years. I'll be 45.
So you're just a
You missed that, didn't you? In 10 years, I'll be 45 years old. So I'll, you see, we're right over your damn head.
I thought you would have been living in that. That's what we all understood was when you said 45, you were talking about the amount of years that you lived in that residence.
No, I was being a little bit of a smart. I'll actually be 47 in 10 years now. So anyway, I'll be done with it. I mean, I'm going to take the 2.5 rate and not worry about it.
So I think what everybody really wants to know with the start of the 2021 football season is Jet Lending going to be a part of the Raging Bull Tailgaters again?
Probably not. Probably not.
Wow.
Johnny will probably be a part. Jet Lending probably will not be a part.
Gotcha. This will be your first time in 20 years?
I didn't participate in it last year, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
But we big on college football. We're gonna root on the
Mississippi Bulldogs.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs. Mississippi State. We won the national championship, by the way, in baseball. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
But
it's a lesser known sport in college football.
So we big on college
athletics.
Let's talk about a little bit about the COVID. I'm not gonna make a political statement here, but we need to get all this stuff back normal. Here. We drew 450 twice here. We've had 3 meetings here. 450, 450, 390, which is still a damn good crowd. But we're used to north of 800.
We're used to a 1 in front of those numbers.
That's right. So we're not getting the crowds are not back participating in this yet. We need that.
Just to let you guys know, we used to go to a place called SRO when Eddie first started doing this. Was hot dog,
13 years ago. 13
years ago. And Eddie used to bring people up on the stage. It was probably the coolest event that I ever been to. Is where I first learned to raise private money.
Yeah.
Eddie doesn't do a bullshit meeting where he just brings you in so that you can lick some plates for free and drink some beer. He brings you in, and tonight the guy's going to drop some knowledge on that stage. The reason why people come here and the reason why they have a crowd this big is because this guy is giving good information that finely tunes your skills as a real estate investor.
Sometimes I get on it, and it makes me want to do it here. get on a tear and talk about the history and what we all used to do. And I miss those days. And I think it's entertaining as hell. But I'm going to say most of the young people out there in real estate don't give a shit about what we did 13 years ago.
They don't.
They don't give a crap, you know. So they want to, how can you make me money today?
But you know what the big difference was? We did not have social media to get on every day and make those videos.
Yeah. And we packed the house. I mean, that's what all this evolved to, you know. We were the first ones to do a meeting on real estate, held monthly, and give free beer and free food. We were the first ones. We set the bar. We really did. Now, well, right before COVID hit, not now, but right before COVID hit, I said it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If you want to eat free and drink free Monday through Thursday in Houston, Texas, there is a real estate meeting to go to. And that's what it all evolved to. Everybody was having a meeting. Everybody. Now, we've come back. My buddies have come back. A few of my competitors come back. But it ain't many. No. It's not a whole lot of this going on.
But do you know what everybody tells me? Especially, I had a call with Chris Funk. Mm-hmm. So Chris watches this. He's watching this right now in Colorado.
Tell him I'm going to whip his ass next time I see him.
You can tell him you're going to whip his ass. So he said what he's starving for is more content-driven networking events. Yeah. He says this is the only one that actually has good, solid content every month.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate him saying that. That might put him a little bit back in my good graces, you know, but
he got down in the bad graces because he did a good impersonation.
He's out there impersonating me on live television about my authorized consent. That's like the NFL. You cannot use this about the authorized consent of Major League Baseball or National Football League. Yeah, that got me. So anyway, we've always tried to do that, and we think we're good at it. Here's why we're good at it. We're not good at it because we loan a lot of money.
Which we
do. We're good at it because we're on the damn streets all the time in this business, looking at properties, talking to sellers, talking to buyers, talking to rehabbers, talking to the insurance people. We're in the business, you know. Yeah. And I'm on the streets. Johnny's on the street. We're all on the streets, you know. And I think that probably just sets us apart a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I said this the other day. There was a business consultant contacted me just to quiz me on jet lending and some other things, and he was wanting to know how we had this reputation of being so knowledgeable. I said, well, dude,
you're actually doing this shit.
I've actually bought over 1,700 properties myself, and his draw about hit the floor.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I do this. It's hard to be this way, but there ain't gonna be anybody walking in this room tonight through the front door and bought over 1,700.
Okay, I have a question then.
You know,
who is your mentor?
I had 2.
Okay.
Well, I had a lot, but 2 stand out. The founder of Home Dusters, Ken D'Angelo, who's now deceased, and the man getting ready to walk up next,
Rich Drake.
Rich Drake helped me up from day one. Rich was in this business about 2 years ahead of me. He was in this business about 2 years ahead of me, right? And he helped me. Rich helped me.
So Rich is still.
Now I've surpassed him.
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah. But I mean, when we started out, he was here and I was here. Now he may be here, and I've gone way. I've surpassed him in a lot of ways.
That's what she said.
Just the way it is. That's just the way it is, you know. Now, Rich gave me a lot of time and attention day one. When you start this business day one, none of us knew anything.
Yeah.
You didn't know anything day one.
You took me underneath. You and Steve Davis were my 2 mentors, but the difference is I only knew Steve from radio.
Yeah.
You were the only person. You took me underneath your wing, and you were like, I'm meeting with you. And I'm going to, and then when I said, hey, let's do this podcast thing, you were like, what's in it for you? And I was like, it's the only thing I can do to say thank you.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this dude right here is legit. You guys should just come up here, just not for the free food, not for the free beers. You should come up here just to rub elbows with this guy.
I know a lot because
you're the easiest guy to get to know.
I know a lot because I've made all the mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not above saying it. You know, I mean, shit. I mean, you just
and you've surrounded yourself in your team with a bunch of good people, like good solid
I got
guys.
folks that know how to promote on social media and know how to turn a computer on.
Yeah,
how to.
the new Rob Trigg show is good.
Yeah.
On the Fly with Rob or something like
Rob's
that.
Good. Did you know Rob's 22-year Army veteran?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah. No, Rob was on my podcast.
5 combat tours.
Yeah. No, dude's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one last thing for you. I had a phone call with Rob, and he told me that he invests with Jet.
Mm-hmm.
Is that open to anybody that wants to invest with Jet? What's the minimum someone could use to get into Jet?
There is no minimum per se, but if you want your money collateralized on a property by itself, 100,000. I mean, you give me 5,000, we'll use it, and we'll pay you a return. And it's. I'm gonna clarify our terminology because you don't know. It's not an investment; it's a loan agreement.
Right.
Okay. Rob and anybody else that's private, they don't invest. We sign a loan agreement and a promissory note back to them.
But anytime someone, a loan is an investment from that other person.
Because we're not a federal regulatory fund. That's an investment. We sign a loan agreement. They loan us the money. We sign a loan agreement back.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if you want me to collateralize your money on a piece of real property, I need enough money that I got deals that size,
Okay.
So that's how we do it. If you give me $100,000, you loan me $100,000. I put you on that property like right there, and you know what property your money's in on.
Okay, cool.
You loan me $5,000.
It's on a bunch of them.
I can't.
It's paying someone's draw requests.
Yeah, it's paying repairs. Yeah, that's exactly where it goes, And we got people that do that. But I can't collateralize $5,000. I can collateralize $200.
No, but if someone wants to get started and they don't have a lot, this may be a good entry point for someone to get in. So I just wanted them to know that.
But we 18 years, and we ain't never missed a payment to a bank or to an individual in 18 years.
Eddie Gant, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting this together.
Waving me off. I was having fun.
I know. This was a good one.
I may come back.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. All right.
All right. Richie Drake is up next.
So Richard.
Captain Pink underwear.
He asked me who my mentors were. I gave him 2.
Let's see. B. Lee.
She's a mentor now.
I don't need it.
Yeah, he's already got his.
You and Ken D'Angelo.
This is
Ken. I'm a big Ken D'Angelo fan.
What was the deal with Ken D'Angelo? What made you sign on early on and become a Homevestor franchisee?
We were the 13th franchise. We were TX012. We're 12th one in Texas, 13th overall. He opened up a pilot one in Kansas City. He just wanted to say, will this work anywhere, right? Ken was just a visionary. He's just way ahead of this whole revolution of buying and fixing and selling, flipping houses, right? Like if you wrote an ad that said, hey, I got this house, needs work, $50,000, he'd say, rotten wood, peel and paint, fantastic deal. And the phone would blow up, right? And what they did though is they pioneered hard money lending. So they would loan us the money to buy the houses. We borrow from them, and then we turn around and sell them the notes. So they're making money on the front, making money on the back, because we sell the notes at a discount. But we went from buying 1 or 2 houses with our own cash, or finding a cousin's nephew who had a 20 or 30 grand, to 10 houses a month. And we were able to advertise. And billboards, there's no one advertising we buy houses. Nobody.
So when you first started, you were buying and holding or buying and flipping?
We were wholesaling and flipping.
Wholesaling and flipping.
So when we first advertised, phones blew up. And so we had an answering service that would answer the calls, and then we would get a fax. Remember faxes?
I do remember faxes.
So when the fax machine would fire up, we would all compete to say, not it, because there's 3 partners and nobody wanted the next lead because they had a stack this high on their desk and we couldn't call them all back because no one else had ever put on a billboard, we buy houses. So now it's highly competitive all over the city. You're getting inundated, right? You're getting cold called, internet, all that, right? Well, back then, the only way to find a house was drive around, look for them, write down all the addresses, and then go look them up in the phone book and try to call them and say, hey, do you own this house? Nope. Hey, do you own this house? Until you found the right Jonathan Shagnasty that owned it. When we advertised, there's all this pent-up demand over the years of people who had houses that didn't know this industry existed.
And now I feel like the seller is way more educated than ever before.
Oh, yeah. Because of the web.
Yeah. So what is the competition like with OfferPad, Zillow, Orchard?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't buy a lot of houses now personally. My partners handle that. So I don't really know a whole lot. But it seems to me that, those guys plus the cadre of very sophisticated people out here make the whole industry very competitive to find a deal. When Zillow is one of the top websites in the whole world, when they can get in your face and say we buy houses, it's tough to compete with that. You have to drive by a billboard on 59 to see that you buy houses, right? You have to run into get a mailer, or you have to go to a certain website to know that you buy houses. Well, you just have to go to Zillow to know Zillow buys houses.
So where do you see the market evolving to now? What does the investor need to do to be more savvy, to get more properties under contract today? Just have more money?
I think most people see flipping and wholesaling as this shrine that they want to do. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's a freaking nightmare, right? Yeah. So when you buy, fix, and sell a really trashed house, how many gotchas are there, right?
Lots.
How many times you open up a floor and go, another $5,000?
It's not even that. The big gotchas are once you've already done, then you got an inspector going through and he's gotcha.
So it may sound self-serving, come from a property manager, but even if you manage it yourself, you're better off paying a little more, buying rental property and hold them and build wealth than you are keep your day job, be an engineer, be a whatever, buy a couple of rent houses, 2 or 3, 4, 5, however many you can per year, pay a little bit more, make less yield. You're not making these big $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 clips. But it's so competitive. It's a struggle for anybody to succeed at flipping houses against this army out there. I mean, we're part of the army, and you and I are way more sophisticated as somebody gets started in this. It's just a fact. We're not as sophisticated as Zillow or OfferPad, right? Who's to say they're paying the wrong amount, right?
I wouldn't say they're sophisticated. I would say that they have deeper pockets.
They have deeper pockets, and they have
less back-end costs.
They have the reach.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easy to sell a property without an agent when you have the advertising capacity of Zillow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So my take is buy and hold. Buy at a reasonable price where you got a decent yield. You're not going broke, but you're not getting rich. And do what I'm doing now. I just put a house up for sale for $99,900. Got an offer for list the first day for a trashed house in Sunnyside.
That was yours.
That I paid $15,000 for.
And
rented out forever.
What was it worth today?
I don't even know what it's worth. Don't care. Sold. I'm not doing the rehab. It's a $30,000 rehab. It's been a Section 8 tenant the whole time. For 20 years, I had the same Section 8 tenant. And now it's selling for 5 times, 6 times what I paid for.
So over 20 years, you made, how much would you say you made total on that house over 20 years of holding? The cash flow portion.
So I probably grossed couple of $100,000. Netted half of that.
Yeah.
And now I'll sell it for another $100,000. And I paid 15 for it, paid it off forever ago.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that over and over.
How many do you personally have left now in your portfolio?
Maybe 40.
How many?
But I'm selling certain houses in certain entities to eliminate tax returns.
Okay.
It's a strategic thing. I'm not just selling all my rent houses. That'd be stupid.
Why wouldn't you just consolidate the LLC and like sell it to?
Some we are.
Yeah.
But I'm just not doing a rehab on a house in Sunnyside that I don't really want anyway.
Yeah.
It's a weird deal. Like for instance, this one, pitched roof, and it's got an add-on room with a flat roof, and that thing has given us problems since day one.
Yeah.
Don't want the problem anymore, and it's on blocks.
I love blocks.
You do?
Block and base is my baby.
More
Sunnyside is
work.
not my baby.
We just had the Section 8. It was like a slot machine. So
Oh yeah.
they're paying $1,200-$1,300 when it was all said and done.
Wow.
You know why she moved? Got grazed by a stray bullet.
Huh.
After 20-something years, she moved.
She didn't get awarded anything, or did she?
No.
She just moved because she got
She
grazed.
got nervous. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
wow.
I remember this exact house. She's been in there for 15 years at this point, and we maybe spent a couple $1,000 on it over the years. We put in a new kitchen cabinet and countertop because it was getting pretty bad. She cried. She was so happy. Over a countertop and a cabinet. $1,000.
Wow. That's amazing.
One of my favorite dumbass Section 8 tenants was over off of Pinnell. You know where Pinnell is? Like Cullen and Reed Road.
Okay.
She said, I got mold in my house and my walls are sweating. This place is terrible. Something's wrong. So finally, after sending a half a dozen people over there, they couldn't figure it out. I had to go over there myself. I go over there. What's that on the stove? She goes, oh, I don't have a heater. I boil water to warm the house up. So you need to stop that. I don't have a heater, so I don't know. Introduce a little water vapor into the atmosphere.
Yeah. So
That's
you
what
just didn't put a heater in there for her?
I don't. 15, 20 years ago, none of those houses had anything.
That's right. They just had the little central wall unit.
They had space heaters.
Yeah.
Or a central wall
yeah.
unit. Who knows what the deal was back then? I don't remember.
Right.
It was one of those little 2-bedroom brick, little 800 square foot brick squares, 3 or 4 of them in one. 8 of them, whatever it was.
So if you were starting over today, where would you look and what would you buy?
Well, that's pretty easy. I've been saying this for 5 years. 322 brick in the suburbs with a good high school, rent it out and don't ever freaking sell it. It's just, I'm more upset about the houses I sold than anything else. Now, have I made bad buys before? Yeah, not great buys, but the ones that you sold, you've done it, I'm sure. Look at you ever sold a house in Independence Heights? You ever sold a house in the Heights? I sold a house in the Heights for $79,900.
I sold one of my houses for like $395 and it just sold for like $800.
I sold probably 12 houses in Willow Bend in the 200 and something range. Willow Bend.
God.
2,000 square foot houses plus. They were all flood houses back then. Remember that? We bought half the damn neighborhood.
Yeah. Wow.
Had a porn house over there. Had porn stacked to the ceiling.
We got in trouble. We had an Airbnb off of White Oak. The neighbor called us and said, I think they're videotaping a porn. So Ryan calls me up. Him and Julie were on a date. I race over and we drive by slowly. We drive by again. There's just people sitting outside like smoking in bathrobes and stuff right in the front of the house. And
so they rented your Airbnb to use as a studio.
As the studio.
It's kind of smart, actually.
Yeah.
Probably cheaper than a regular studio.
Yeah. So Ryan had to send them a message letting them know that you couldn't be shooting a porn.
You're not welcome here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
great.
Man, yeah, that was a great house.
Well, we could make a 12-hour documentary about all the funny stuff we've seen. My partners almost burned the house down one time because we had bees in the wall.
Yeah.
So they got some bug spray and sprayed it in the hole, and that didn't even piss them off. So they lit it on fire. They put fire and sprayed it.
Oh my God!
Caught the whole side of the house on fire. Nearly burned it all down. Just stupid stuff.
When do you leave for Isla?
Isla Holbox?
Yeah.
I don't know. This crazy freaking
Why aren't
Delta
you going?
BS.
Who cares?
Oh, I don't care. My wife does. We'll see. It's supposed to be October, I think.
Okay.
So we'll probably end up going. I'm not worried about it.
I think we're going October the 24th.
I got a wedding in September.
Saturday or Sunday, the 24th or the 25th.
That might be kind of close to when we're going. We have a wedding in New Orleans in September.
Our wedding is October 23rd.
Not my wedding.
Mine.
I know. Are you excited?
Wedding.
You fired up?
Oh, I'm fired
Good for
up,
you.
yeah.
But, now New Orleans just shut down.
Wow, again?
I mean, if you want to go into any facility, like a restaurant, bar, any public place, you either have to have a vaccine card or 72-hour negative test. Less than 72 hours old.
Wow.
Almost as bad as New York.
Wow. Next up is my buddy Johnny Hayes.
You gonna tolerate Johnny?
I am. You gonna be able to get me one of those Angry Orchards?
You want one?
Well, I mean, you got to go back and get another refill. Would you get me one?
Yeah, I'll send one over.
All right, thank you.
Somebody will come right up here.
All right, perfect.
Good to see you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
What's up, boss? Hey, let's talk about NIL college sports today so I can let people know I have a new contract.
All right.
Just for about 2 minutes. 1 minute. Oh, we live?
We're live.
No, he ain't put my mic up yet. Oh, I'm
You're
live? Okay, so, hey, you see all these college sports athletes making all this money? NIL? I just signed an NIL contract with Miller Coors. So, drink all the Miller Coors you want. Nice and refreshing.
I didn't even know it was Miller and Coors together.
Yeah, they merged.
What sport are you going to be eligible to play this time?
I still have 1 year eligibility back.
Of bowling?
No, I think
Tennis.
it's in golf.
Golf. Were you really good in college?
No, I learned to play golf in college because my roommate was on the golf team. His dad was a coach. And I said, I didn't grow up in no country club. Shoot. My parents were just middle class, both worked. And I was like he goes, I'm going to teach you how to play golf. So I went out on the range and hit thousands and thousands of balls. And I said, okay, I'm ready to play. I'm hitting good balls. You're not ready yet. So you'd hit more balls. He goes, all right, let's go play. Don't get frustrated. First time I hit the ball good. You get on the course, it don't go where you think it's supposed to. I think I shot like a 120. And he goes, what happened? He goes, you'll be fine. Let's go back to the range. I'll correct what you did. We'll go play in a couple of days after you hit another 1,000 balls. And then I shot like a 110. And then after about 3 months of going back to range playing, I was in the 80s. And then once you got in the 80s, you kind of figured it out. It was just practice and play. And I got as low as a 2 handicap when I used to play all the time. Now I'm a 12.9 index because I play 3-4 times a year. With the exception, I'm headed to Texarkana playing a member guest this weekend.
How do you think that golf and real estate investing, where do those two things mirror each other?
Where they mirror? I don't know. I've always said if you want to learn the integrity of a person, go play around the golf with them. Because
there's a lot of areas where you can cheat.
Oh gosh, it's all your self-discipline. I mean, you play by the rules yourself. There's no officials. I won't say a guy won't move the ball a little bit because that's okay. If you're all rolling the ball and it's fine. But if you're sitting there, you hit the ball 8 times and get in the hole and you said, it's a 5, that's a little integrity issue there. you know. And I'll say learning in real estate, if you're building a team, you better build a team with people with integrity that do things the right way, because it's just like any business. There's bad apples everywhere.
Well, where I thought you were going to go with it is that if you do build the right team,
Yep.
instead of it taking the course taking you
Refreshing Miller
6
Lite.
hours and maybe 122 strokes,
Right.
If you play maybe in a scramble
Yeah.
with 3 other people that are really
Sure.
good, you can shoot in the high 70s, maybe low
If you're on
80s,
a
alternate
scramble,
ball.
If you're in a scramble, you better be shooting under par. You're really out on a bad team. If you got
Well,
4 people playing.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I understand
If it's
your point.
alternate ball,
Yeah.
like you have to use yours.
No, I understand.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, to me, that's the thing that I learned, is that you can either go quick and fast with a good team, or you're going to go slow, and you may make a little bit more money on one side, but you're going to lose a whole lot on the other.
We're doing, thanks to Alice, we're in Grant Cardone University now, so we're doing some sales training, and I'm watching the videos, and we're doing it for all our people at Jet, just to be more. I mean, you gotta get better.
How is it?
I love it so far.
Okay.
You do it on your own time. You watch it. He just brings back a lot of basics that make sense that you forget about.
Is it him talking
It's
the whole
him
time?
the whole time.
Wow.
And what it is, and we did it for all our loan officers and salespeople, it's just a motivation. And he brings up, if you're not always learning to be better, you're not going to get better, you know? And I think that's the same way golf is. You cannot get better unless you practice it and do it all the time. The same with investing or real estate flipping, or you got to get a team. You go out, you learn some mistakes, and you don't have those mistakes again, and you get better. That's why I think it's important of finding you a lender, a title company, an insurance, contractors, people that can do the rehab for you like yourself, or build new homes, things like that. And when you build that team up, you know, it runs a lot smoother. Not that surprises ain't going to pop up, but as you get more experiences, you learn how to handle those and get through that. And just remember, you know, it's just like you better have some reserves and some money put aside, because surprises happen in everything.
Just like golf, it's an expensive sport. Flipping is an
every
expensive
hobby
sport.
is an expensive sport. And he brought it up today. You know, commissions.
Grant Cardone.
Yeah, Grant.
Okay.
Commissions are great. If you want to be an entrepreneur and highly successful and not just be a middle-class person, you need to be working on commissions, because it's all about production. I mean, you may not think a company is paying you on commissions, but they are.
Yeah.
They can pay you a salary, but it's all what the company makes. If they're not closing deals and having good margins and gross profits and profitable business, they can't pay you your salary. They're going to have to let you go because they don't have enough money coming in. Whereas a commission straight person, a lot of our own loan officers are there today, they make way more money on commissions now, because we don't pay salaries, we pay off production, and we raise commissions to give them an incentive to be part of the company and make more money. And I promise they're happier. Once they learn the business and start closing and see it's not that difficult to do things in this business, and you learn how it's done, then you can make a good living and become that next level, and then the next level. And then before you know it, you're an owner of a company, and you understand. Now I understand how they build these businesses, because you have to do the things right to get that thing profitable.
That's awesome.
Just like a flip.
Yeah, just like a flip.
You can't be buying a property at 85 cents on the dollar, fix it up, hold it, resell it, buying costs, and sell it for 100% what it's worth.
Right.
You're going to lose money.
You can do that, and a lot of people do.
Well,
they just don't do the thing that
Right.
They don't do the last thing. They don't make money.
Flipping it has to be about equity. You have to have a certain amount of equity in order to make a profit, because your costs are there. Buy and hold real estate rental property, you can pay 100% of the value
in ride appreciation.
And let your renters pay your net debt down over a period of time and become long-term wealthy and build wealth that way.
When you buy a property to flip,
Yep.
when do you make your money?
Well, you really buy it when you buy it. Because if you're not buying it low enough, it's going to be hard to make a profit.
And you get your money
when you sell. That's right.
You make it on the buy, you get it on the sell.
Yeah.
And what you do in between determines how much of that money you're going to make.
If you're getting there, getting your deals done, it's just like I tell new clients that come to Jet. If you have no experience and not a lot of reserves, and you think you're going to make a lot of money in this business, and you found a good deal, well, maybe not, because you got to go manage your contractors, do it. We put them with somebody like you, we trust, like a turnkey deal, and Fast Track's one of our turnkey contractors. If they let Fast Track give them a bid, like you've done it with some of our clients, we do a no-draw loan with them. We don't make them put their money up front. We basically advance the money to the contractor, let him get started, then advance him, and he gets it done in a third the time it would have took them to get it done, or they don't have the mistakes, they don't have somebody walking away, and yeah, it costs you a little bit more to hire those people, but your holding costs go down, you got a way better product, you're going to sell it quicker, and you make more money in the long run.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
So what Johnny's talking about is I did this no-draw loan with my client, Summer Johnson and Eric, and they bought a house that needed a very high-end remodel, and we added on about 600 to 800 square feet. And they bought it right, and they held it for 6-8 months. They walked away with 169. Remember? I mean, you signed off on the lien release. You saw the closing statement. I mean, $100,000. I mean, that's.
No, I know.
I made my money.
That's right.
I made my money helping them.
And that's the example of you made your money when you bought it because you bought it deep enough. It's all about equity if you're flipping. You got to have equity because your costs are there. Okay? It's a cost of doing business coming to a asset-based lender because we get the money for you. We make our spreads. I mean, if you want low interest money, you got to go to the bank. It may take you 6.
Yeah, but you may get low interest money, but you're buying into that low interest money by bringing in 10%.
Bringing in a bunch of money.
Yeah.
At loan to cost.
Loan to cost,
maybe funding all your repairs.
They're not going to fund you ARV. No. They're going to fund you loan to cost or loan to value, whichever one is lesser of the two.
Right. And so
you could be bringing 15%.
And I've always, and don't get me wrong, you always want good deals, but somebody walks up to me and they can't get their money anywhere, or it's going to take forever to get it and they're going to lose the deal, but they have opportunity to make $150,000 like your other one. They didn't mind coming to pay us rates. It's a cost of doing business. You do it in a timely manner, you do it right, you sell it, you make your money, and that's how it works. And what it allows you to do, you make a better return sometimes than using your own cash because you leverage your lending power, come borrow a purchase price from us, use your own cash for repairs so your fees and interest is lower. You can do 6, 7 properties at one time and keep your cash to keep your liquid, then put all your money in 1 or 2 deals and you make less money by going all cash and not leveraging your lending power.
One quick question. Can anybody out there close loans with 0 money out of pocket through Jet?
Yes. Okay. They're buying it low enough.
Okay.
We will loan up to 70% of future value. So if you're buying it at, let's just take an example. You're buying a house that's going to resell for $200. If I loan 70, that's what? $140. Let's say it costs $50 to make it, and they're buying it for $80. I'm going to loan them $140, 50's in escrow. I can advance up to $90 at closing. All their closing costs can be rolled into there, plus a little bit of interest payments. They don't bring nothing to the table.
And just so you know, this isn't like a fairy tale land, because there was a deal that just went out on Facebook for a house that ARV'd at $150, and they were selling it for $89. So that's pretty close. That's like maybe coming to closing with like $4,000.
And if you buy it on equity, you make good money, just like when you sign your NIL contract with Miller Coors. You know, I'm able to make extra money that way.
I don't even know who the next person is. Summer just sent me just came behind the scenes telling me it was
minutes.
Is Rob Trigg coming up here?
That's right. Oh yeah. Hey.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it. The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right. Hey, Rob's doing a great job for us. I mean, he's a man's man.
Listen.
Only except when a boat needs to be turned around in the ocean, in case you're not feeling good. So, hey, thanks for your time. Hey, and for all you guys that don't know, go drink Miller Coors. It helps put money and support my family.
And it helps Johnny with the Johnny tailgate right in front of the NRG Stadium.
That's right. Miller Coors sponsors our tailgate.
Raging Bull Tailgaters.
Raging Bull Tailgaters.
All right. See
you.
you.
See you at the game. You going next weekend?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll be there.
Maybe.
All right.
Johnny, what's that beer you're drinking? Miller Coors.
All right, what's up, man? I finally get on the podcast that
the podcast that you helped create.
That I helped create. I haven't been on it yet, but hey, the logo was mine. Anyway, what's up, buddy?
Rob was on my podcast.
I was.
His show is going to be released tomorrow.
Okay.
Rob, I do another podcast. Rob has his own podcast.
Trigger Points. It goes live every Friday at 10 a.m.
And then I have a podcast that I shoot every Tuesday at 10:30 at the Total Wealth Academy podcast studios called Nailed It.
Nailed It.
All about people who are nailing it in their life or business. And I interviewed Rob on how he became half of the man, half the size of the man.
Half the size
that he used to be.
Yes.
And I mean, he's a small guy already, but
so I tell you what, it was not from drinking Miller Coors. I can tell you that.
Oh God, here we go with another Miller Coors story. Okay, so Rob, how have you been doing?
I'm good. Good, Curtis.
I just watched your newest video. I like this new video. So I spoke about it with
you talking about
Eddie.
Are you talking
the
about
flyby with
the flyby with Ehab?
Flyby. Is it flyby with Ehab? I thought it was flyby with Jet.
It's flyby with Jet, but we go to Ehab. Ehab is a mentor here in Houston, and we go to a lot of his properties. But I've done it for several clients. We go out and we look at their properties, and we just kind of showcase, hey, this is what stage they're at. This is what we're doing. This is what we loaned on. It just kind of, get the client back involved with us.
Well, I liked it.
Yeah. Oftentimes the lender will just lend you money and just say, hey, we don't care about you anymore. We got your business.
So I called up Rob on Saturday. Rob was on my podcast and we talked about flipping.
Yeah.
And Ehab had told you on Rob's first podcast, I watched it. Ehab was giving him grief about not flipping.
And he's coming back this Friday.
And I told Rob, I said, so Rob and I talked on my podcast. I said, why aren't you flipping? And then Rob talked, man, maybe I should get back. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I should.
So I told him, I called him on Saturday because I was listening to his podcast again. And I was like, Rob, how are you doing on investing? He was like, I am an investor.
Well,
I invested in Jet.
I do. I invest my money in Jet.
And we talked about it. Yeah. I asked Eddie, like, how can you get involved? Yeah. Rob mentioned this. How do you get involved? And he said, well, I can't call it investing. We do a loan.
Yeah.
We do a loan with you, and then we pay you money back and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. In our world, that's investing.
Yeah, it's investing.
Yeah, it's investing.
I mean, we can't really call it investing, but, we've got private lenders that we put their money to work just as easy as we do our bank lines.
I'm going to tell you, if you guys are not watching or listening to Rob's podcast, Rob brings such good energy.
Well, the whole point of the podcast, and we discussed this, is to get those new investors out there that are like, I'm scared to make that first jump. Everybody.
It's the trigger point.
It's the trigger point.
The point in which I pulled the trigger.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And that bringing everybody on the show, we always talk about what got you to pull that first trigger. Where did you get your start? Were you nervous for your first start? Everybody's nervous on their first start. Everybody is.
The Rob Trigg
the new and improved hats. The new and improved hats.
That one, yours says Team 1.
It's Team 1.
Mine's the old school.
Yeah, that was when I was alone. Now we got the whole team behind us. Jet Team 1. So, but the whole point of the trigger points is to get those new investors or anybody that's watching it, that's having difficulty in any aspect of their life. Hey,
I need help with weight loss. I need help with making the right decision on an investment. I need help with, day-to-day anything. Follow me on Facebook. I guarantee you, I've been through enough stuff in my life, hardships, bad stuff, good stuff. I guarantee you I can get you pointed in the right direction. And if I can't, I know somebody that can. I definitely do. You've had hardships.
Yeah, hundreds.
Hundreds of hardships.
I lost both my parents by the time I was 18.
Yeah, that's tough. I lost my dad when I was 42 years old. To this day, still the toughest thing that's ever happened to me.
I feel like when talking about loss, because I think a lot of people have gone through this during the COVID, whether it's
dealing with a lot of
loss, whether it's realizing that your wife or your husband or whatever, like y'all are at an impasse and maybe that is an end of a story. I was lucky. I found somebody who I liked being, I think you're the same way.
Yeah.
You have somebody that you like being secluded with.
Oh yeah,
in quarantine.
Madeline, if you're watching this, I love you, sweetie. Kiss the kids. I love you. I will tell you, my wife was a godsend. And I honestly can say that right now.
On your podcast, you talk about it.
Yeah, she is a godsend.
You do the first 5 minutes of the podcast. You were talking about how your wife was the one instrumental in helping you get out of the Santa Claus look. That's what you called it.
Oh yeah, the Santa Claus look.
You said Rob had a trigger point that caused him.
She's like, damn, you look like Santa Claus.
To lose weight.
I was like, whoa. I look like Santa Claus?
No, you actually said you were the one that came.
Yeah.
And you told her, and then she said, but honey, I still think you look good.
Yeah, she did.
You said, that is not going to fly with me.
It's not going to fly. No. She I brought it to her attention. I was like, do you think I still look good, compared to when we got married? And I mean, I'll be the first one to admit, when you get married, you get comfortable. You don't have. But I read some books and I was doing some things at the time, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you know what? She deserves better. She deserves, somebody that's gonna take care of himself and not somebody just gonna eat a stack of Oreo cookies that big every night with a big glass of milk.
Oh God, the Oreo cookies, when they've been put inside of the refrigerator.
Yeah,
double stuff?
No double stuff. Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
No, I was eating cookies that thick every night. I grabbed
they have a little deal where you just pull it back and just grab it out.
A big pour glass of milk, and I'd sit there in bed and eat. She's like, is that good? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty damn good. But then, my daughter had her first birthday, and we were sitting there in February, and I was looking at photos, and I said, this is disgusting.
No, what Rob says on the podcast is, I look like fucking Santa Claus.
I look like Santa Claus, for crying out loud. I had a big old puffy beard and a big. I turned everything completely around.
And it was here when I came up to you when we were setting up for the
that time I'd lost about 25 pounds. I'm down total fat loss about 50 pounds.
So in the podcast tomorrow that gets released.
Friday. Oh, yours.
Mine.
Yeah.
Rob is going to give you his workout routine, which I think is great.
500 reps, buddy.
You're giving away some secret.
I'm sorry.
And we give you away a drink that Rob uses.
I use it. It works.
I used it. I'm down 14.
Okay. The problem, and we've talked about this, is your diet.
Yeah. Oh, my diet now. So I've stalled at 14, but I went on vacation and I came back and
totally understandable.
And I haven't had the motivate. And plus, you know what I know hits me when is super stressed. Andy, you know about this. When you're super stressed, I'm a muncher.
Oh yeah, that is the worst thing you can do when you're super. You're eating your emotions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it takes a lot of discipline to look at something and say, you are the reason why I am the way I am. So, and especially an inanimate object, you can't argue with it.
I'm gonna full circle this bitch.
Okay, let's
you ready?
Full circle it. Okay.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Eating stressed out, eating emotionally is a whole lot like what people do with real estate.
Oh yeah.
They sit there and they eat the idea and the fantasy of doing it, and they keep coming to the networking events and they keep doing the same thing over and over, but they're not getting the result that they want, because sometimes you got to just get up and take your ass to the gym and do it.
Hey, go do real estate.
Here's a couple.
Go do real estate.
I'm going to give you your 500 reps.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you your 500 reps in real estate real quick. Here's your daily 5, or here's the daily 5. I'm going to make these up on the fly. One is you need to be driving your neighborhood
every day,
looking for houses in distress
every day.
Write those addresses down. Then I want you to be looking online on HAR for maybe available inventory, like what's available, what's been sitting on the market, becoming familiar with it.
All good tips.
I would like you to drive by some open houses in your area that wherever it is that you're looking to buy. You need to drive an open house or drive by a finished product, and you need to see what those people did. And then the fourth thing you need to do,
don't drive by new build, new construction.
Yeah, that's not helpful to you.
No, that's not helpful.
The fourth thing that I think you should do is I think that you should get on Facebook and join a community or some sort of email distribution list.
Yes.
And then the fifth thing that you should do is you should be monthly attending the super investor meeting.
There's people that close deals right here at this table. I
have bought deals from being on this podcast.
Hey, this is not a lie. Just talked to a guy, can't mention his name, he doesn't like it mentioned, but he closed a 30-year loan right here, contract signed right here. We closed on it Monday. 30-year loan.
I did a podcast at the Republic Country Club. While I was doing it, I got off the podcast and I immediately got a phone call and they go, "Hey, I heard that you said that you were looking to buy in this zip code on your podcast."
Yeah.
I said, "Yes." He go, "I got a deal for you." I went and bought that deal for $75. I sold it for $150, put $28 into it.
Not a bad time. Not a bad investment. Hey, guys, I will tell you this. The most important thing that he did not mention is consistency. Ensuring that you are consistent on everything you do. Make little improvements every single day. You wake up the next morning and say, I'm going to do better than I did the day before. And as long as you can do that, you're going to get to a point that you're closing deals, changing your life, changing every aspect.
It's like Matthew McConaughey says, and I know you make fun of Matthew McConaughey. I make fun of him a lot, but he said, the person who I'm competing against is the guy who I am 5 years from now.
I love that. I'm never going to be as good as that guy.
I'm never going to be as good as he is.
Yeah. But if you make small improvements every day, you'll eventually get there.
And if all you're doing is going home tonight and eating a stack of Oreo cookies.
I'm not doing that tonight. I promise you.
I know, not you. But I'm saying if all you are doing, or people here, is just coming to the real estate event, eating their stack of Oreo cookies,
and not doing
anything, you've missed the point of the event.
Yes.
You've missed the point.
You should be here. If you're not here, you should be here networking, handing out your business card, meeting as many people as you can. That way you grow your network. That way you eventually will have a deal.
Also, if you're going to network, here's the number one piece of advice I have if you know nobody. Go stand in the circle and listen.
Yeah. That's all you gotta do.
Listen. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. Just listen, be present, and try to figure out who the players are, and then start working your way in. Maybe buy someone a drink, maybe ask someone to go eat lunch, pay for their meal, whatever you can do. Ask them to walk their job site, whatever you can do. Those are some things that you can easily do to fine-tune your skills.
Yes.
Agree?
Absolutely agree.
Guys, thank you so much for coming and watching. Andy, the producer, Summer, the executive producer, the lady that keeps me in trouble, Robbie Trish.
Hey, first time on the Game Day podcast.
Rob is no longer a virgin. He just popped his cherry on here.
My cherry.
All right.
We're out, guys. Come see us tonight if you haven't already. Come on. Cheers.